Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at a very interesting bit of outdoor gear. This is the Bulin portable ultralight compact gas camping lantern. Let's check it out. Alright everybody, welcome back. Now before we get started with this, I do want to make you guys aware that on my My Patriot Supply site, that's preparewithiridium.com, I got this on here. We have some amazing deals. Okay, you've got the 3-month emergency kit. You're going to save $250 on that. 21 varieties, 25-year shelf life. You got breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything in there. 120 pounds worth of freeze-dried food. You're going to save $250 off that. Normally these are $8.97. So 3 months of food, $647. Also, too, we have a 4-week emergency kit. All right, 2,000 calories a day, 16 varieties of food, again, 25 years shelf life, 38 pounds worth of food, and that's freeze-dried. You're going to save $50 on that. So it was $297, $247. So if you guys don't have some kind of food to get started on, if you guys are just getting started in prepping, having that kind of food is really good. So check them out. That's preparewithiridium.com. They're running a really good sale, and I want to make sure people see it, because I know people forget sometimes, or they don't watch all the way to the end, and they miss out on some really good deals that I can get through these companies. So that's preparewithiridium.com. All right, let's get into the little lantern here. This is something kind of similar to what I reviewed in the past, but there's a little twist on it. This one here is made of light aluminum alloy, so it's very lightweight, and instead of using glass around the outside as a globe, this one uses metal. So not only does it give off some radiant heat, you know, inside a tent or something, but it also allows you to carry this and not worry about it breaking. I have a few others that are very fragile, and I'm always worried about them getting cracked, whereas this one, you can hang this up on a tree or around your campsite, and if it falls, you just pick it up, dust it off, and keep working, unless it's hot. Don't pick it up and dust it off if it's hot. But very, very durable and sturdy. Now this does have a piezoelectric ignition system, so that's very handy on the side here. I'll show you. Okay. So you can just ignite it by pushing that in. It will fit on your isobutane camp stove. It does have a chain. I'm not so sure. This chain feels very, very thin metal. Not so sure I'd want that hanging over something that's going to get red hot. Maybe I'd hang it outside. I definitely wouldn't hang it in my tent. And besides, these give off a lot of carbon monoxide, so I probably wouldn't want to put this in my tent. This is something I'd light up a campsite with, maybe. These get very, very bright. This puts out about 80 lux of light. So it's super, super bright. It is well packed. Nice little plastic carry box. Comes with 3 mantles. I'll show you those here. I'll explain how to put these on and make them work. Okay. It also comes with an adapter for a butane canister. Let me see if I can get that out. This will work with pretty much anything. This is for the butane canisters. You can use this with green canisters as well. The 1 pound propane. But my goal with this is to use isobutane. If I'm using a little canister like this from my stove, and I'm done with my stove, I've just consolidated my gear and I have less to carry. Maybe I carry 2 of these instead of 1 of these, a bunch of batteries, a solar panel to recharge my flashlight, whatever. I got this and my stove and I'm good to go. So very, very handy to consolidate your gear, and I like doing that, especially with bug out gear. You don't want to be lugging around a ton of stuff. I know when we're new and we get our first bug out bag and we build it, we're like, yeah, I'm going to need an extra car tire and 50 pounds of clothing. You know, we keep piling stuff in there. But the goal of a bug out bag should be as light as possible to last you as long as possible. You don't want to be lugging around a ton of stuff. I've done tons of bug out bag videos, and some of them are kind of heavy, but they're made for being in my vehicle. Like my deployment bag, if I get called out for an emergency with ham radio. Yeah, that's a big bag, but it's going to go in the back of my car. It's convenient because it's a backpack, but it probably weighs over 60 pounds. But it's got a lot of radio stuff in it as well. So you want to go as light as possible with your bug out gear. So these use the common isobutane screw top canisters. Very compact, very easy to use, doesn't have any glass to break. That's what I love about this. So what we're going to do first off here, we are going to burn this and test it out in the dark. But what we're going to do first off here is I'm going to take off this lid. I'm going to show you how to put a mantle on it. Okay, so the first order of business is getting that globe off. And we're just going to pop it off like that. Take the globe itself off, and as you can tell, that's not going to break or bend. That's very, very thick. So it'll definitely hold up to all that abuse. This is your top here. So what you want to do with this is you want to take the larger side or hole of the mantle, and this is a little kind of like a hat. out like that. You want to take the larger hole and fit it over there, all the way down to the bottom of these holes up here, okay? All the way down like that. So we're going to try to do it on camera. I don't know how long it's going to take or if it's going to be kind of difficult. Sometimes it's hard to do things because I'm trying to reach around the camera and I don't want to bump the camera because that's annoying. Drives me nuts when I'm editing. Bumping the camera. Okay, so we got that pretty good there. And I'm just going to stick the top of the generator through here, like that. Okay. Now, with this one, because it has a piezo igniter, it's going to be hard to make this very, very even. But you have to burn this in. So I'm going to open up my side door here and bring out an air conditioner. Bring out a fire extinguisher. And we're going to burn in that, because this gets a little smoky. You want to do it outside normally. But for what I'm doing here, we're going to do it in here because I got both doors going to be open. Alright, give me a minute to do that and we'll be right back. Okay, so it's all set. And I'm not putting the gas on it yet because we're going to be dealing with open flame. We are going to move the gas can away. I do have my fire extinguisher over here. I'm going to start burning this in. Now you can hold this when you do it. But you do have to burn these in. I like to kind of burn them evenly. It is a little hard with the igniter there. But as long as they get burned up, you'll be good. And they will shrink a little bit after you burn them. Also too, I have seen people sometimes just light these without burning them in. Not really horrible to do, but I prefer to burn them in because I find they last a little longer that way. But there might be areas that you miss. So we're going to let that burn and kind of smolder a bit. And you'll notice it isn't white yet. You know, it doesn't have that typical mantle look to it. It's not all white. See how it's starting to get white there? Alright, so now, once this is done, I want to make sure I get everywhere, even that folded area in there. It's kind of hard to get to, but I want to make sure of that. Once this is done, you can screw this on once the fire is out. You can screw this on to your gas can. I'm going to let it smoke out a little bit, and then we'll turn it on and try it out. Alright, I got it screwed on. It has burned out. It has made it all nice and white around there. Now what I want to do is first of all try this piezo igniter. I'm not so sure it's going to work. That's not really a big deal for me. The first time I burn any kind of thing like this, I usually leave the globe off. Just to burn it to make sure everything's nice and even, so I have to take the globe back off and everything back off. Then we'll turn it off, put the globe back on, and relight it. It's going to be a pain in the neck if that lighter doesn't work. So let's turn this on. There we go. Alright. So as we see here, we're getting a nice white light from that. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There you go. Really nice light. Very controllable flame too. I kind of like that. So let's turn this off before it gets too hot. And let's put our little diffuser on there. And this over the top. And it will kind of, yeah, see it's got a little, it gets stuck on the sides, a little snap on the sides. So what we're going to do is take this and put it over the top without the chain in the way. And lock it down. And when that's done, I'll bring you back. We'll light it and we'll try it out. I just snapped them under there. The only reason I didn't do it on camera is because I didn't want to bump into you there. Let's try this out now. There we go. Now what I like about the metal as opposed to a glass globe is that it kind of diffuses the light a little bit. Let me knock out the lights here. We'll let this burn a little bit because it's still got a little more burning in to do. You can see a little smoke. And then I'll bring you back and show you just how much light this thing puts off. Alright, so that is pretty darn bright. Usually, you know, a camera will get a little grainy when there's not enough light. And as you can see, if I were to lift that up, it'd be enough light to shoot a video in a real dark emergency type situation. But definitely a nice little thing, and this does get very, very hot. So if you turn it up, this thing will get warm. So you do have the added benefit of having a little bit of heat radiating out from it. So if you put this outside, again, I wouldn't put this in a tent just by the nature. You see a little bit of flame coming out. By the nature of what it is, you know, I'd be afraid to put this in a tent. I'd be worried that maybe, you know, I'm going to drop it or just, like I said, the top's getting red hot and that chain is, you know, kind of hanging on. I wouldn't put it in a tent, and also I'd be worried about carbon monoxide. But as far as just a light, and this is at its lowest setting, this thing is awesome. Puts out a ton of light. It's not getting hot down here, which is good, although that base is pretty thick. And you are getting a nice kind of radiated heat, you know, a little ambient heat off it. Alright, so let's turn on the lights and we'll finish up the video. Alright, so there you go. That is the Bulin portable ultralight camping gas lantern. I'm going to turn it off. And there you go, just like that, it's off. Very easy, very positive, and very controllable. However, when it's on, no matter how high you turn it up or low, it's still going to be about the same brightness. So there's no point in wasting gas by turning it all the way open. It's still going to be the same brightness. And as you get higher, you might get some flame escaping from the top, and you may not want that depending on where you're using this. The chain, I might replace it, especially the loop. That little loop there, that's going to get hot and eventually melt and drop off. I might replace it with something a little stronger, or simply just use this sitting on a table somewhere as an outside light. Again, you want it a little bit higher up. Maybe you could stick a little thing inside a tree there, you know, make a little shelf and put it on that. But you do want to be mindful that this does have some flame coming out of the top, and it will get very, very hot. And inside in an enclosed environment, you might get that carbon monoxide off it, and you definitely don't want too much of that. But all in all, gotta say, really impressed with it. Very, very lightweight, very small. Now the package dimension, packed away in this thing here, okay? The length, 6 inches, width, 2.9 inches, and height, 2.9 inches. This is as bright as an 80-watt light bulb. Not bad at all for something so small. You do have the piezo ignition, which is very, very handy. I like that. I was a little concerned that that might not work, because sometimes they don't work. However, if they don't, I'm sure just reaching in there with a match or a lighter will do the job just fine. But it works very, very well. No issues with it. It does need a substantial time to cool off. The glass globed ones kind of cool off quicker, but they're not as durable. You can see in this box here, there's no packing. There's no tons of styrofoam and everything to keep it cradled. If you're not super light on your gear, or if you're going out in extreme conditions where you might drop this thing a few times, you can always pack a few extra mantles in there if your mantle falls apart. They are fragile. Now, once that's burned like that, that mantle is going to be very fragile. You don't want to touch it. You don't want to take this off and mess with it. You just put it away as is, leave it alone, and it should be just fine. So, definitely a better deal on these. They were $34.44. They're on sale right now. Now, they may not be on sale when you're watching this video 2 years from now, but they're on sale right now for $26.21. I will put a link down below. Definitely cost-effective and handy little thing. It does what it's supposed to do. I believe the other one I'm thinking of is the Primus Micron lantern, and that's almost $60. And this thing does the exact same job, and you're getting it for $26.21. Really good deal. Can't really complain about it. I have used a similar version of this for a while and never had any issues with it. I do still love the glass ones. They put out beautiful light, but more for, you know, if you're bugging out, you want something sturdy. If you're going to stay home and maybe use this in a kitchen counter, you know, on your counter there, on your countertop, where you're not worried about it falling over and catching fire, then yeah, I would go with the glass one because you're not worried about it. Again, if you use this indoors, be sure to watch your children, your pets, especially cats. Got 3 of those, they'll definitely knock things over. No matter how hot it is, they'll just start tapping things over the edge. So definitely keep an eye on your children and your cats, and just use basic indoor fire safety. Okay? I do have a carbon monoxide monitor as well as an alarm. You remember that LED monitor that I had back behind one of my stoves. So if I'm using stuff like this in an environment, you know, if there's a power outage and I'm using all my stoves and stuff, I'll have that out. And for this, I'd probably have it out too. But I definitely like it. Very, very handy. Bulin stuff has never given me a hassle. Yesterday you saw me cook that meal, and the new kit from 4 Patriots with using that Bulin stove. Their stuff is built like a tank, honestly. It's really, really good. Kind of reminds me of the Lixada stuff, when Lixada first started making all those little camp stoves. They were just a cut above some of the other stuff on Amazon. So Bulin's really a good deal. I've never had any issues with it. So that is the Ultralight Camp Compact Stove. They are on sale right now. Like I said, if you watch later, you know, if you're watching 2 years from now and you see this and they're like, oh, they're not on sale. Well, they may not be. They may not even be in stock then. But for now, you can get a pretty good deal on this. This does fold up. So when you put it in there, you're going to kind of want to open it up and fold it to the side. Remember that when you take it out, close it back up before you connect it to your isobutane canister. And as I can feel here, let's see. It's actually cooling off, and you saw me turn it off, so that's not bad at all. This area down here does get warm, so you got to be mindful of that. Okay? This area will get hot on the bottom, so you do have to be mindful of that. But this down here, and the stove, the gas itself is not hot at all, even on that little lip. So definitely cool little item. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check the link. I'll leave a link for this down below if you're interested. It will be in my store as well. Don't forget to check out my Amazon store if you're interested in purchasing any of the gear you see me using in the channel, power stations, cook kits, all that. I try to put it in Amazon. Sometimes I forget a certain spec or how heavy something is or how long something is, and sometimes Amazon will have it where I forget to put it up there. So definitely check that out, as well as our freeze-dried wholesaler link. Starting next Friday is going to be the dessert giveaway. Okay, we're doing a giveaway for the desserts. I'm going to show you how to hydrate a lot of the desserts using a steam rice cooker, a rice cooker with a steamer basket. But we're also going to be giving away a ton of good stuff. We got 3 prizes so far. So don't forget, next Friday is going to be the video for that giveaway. All you got to do is leave a comment. And don't forget my link for my freeze-dried wholesaler link down there. Click that link. You will save 15% just by using my link. No codes to enter, no aggravation. I like to make this stuff simple for you. I know old contests and giveaways used to have. Go to my Facebook page, like it. Go to my Instagram page, leave a comment. Go back over here, leave another comment, and mention that you commented on... No, the heck with that. When we do a contest or a giveaway, we just put a comment down below and use random comment picker. Under that's our My Patriot Supply. Already talked about that at the beginning of the video. They got some deals going on. Check them out. And our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store as well. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.